There's some incumbent vendors that are really taking this AI opportunity and they're running with it. And those are the ones that I think are going to have the staying power, and they're going to be the ones that capitalize on the opportunities the best.
Right.
The ones that are not, the ones that are like waiting, or they don't have the wherewithal to really invest big in AI, those are the ones that are more at risk of losing out and getting left behind.
Welcome to TBR Talks, decoding strategies and ecosystems of the globe's top tech firms, where we talk business model disruption in the broad technology ecosystem, from management consultancies to systems integrators, hyperscalers to independent software vendors, telecom operators to network and infrastructure vendors, and chip manufacturers to value-added resellers. We'll be answering some of the key intelligence questions we've heard from executives and business unit leaders among the leading professional services, IT, and telecom vendors. I'm Patrick Heffernan, Principal Analyst, and today we'll be talking about TBR's upcoming Telecom AI market landscape research with Chris Antlitz, Principal Analyst for TBR's Telecom practice. Chris, welcome. Just from the jump, I want to know your thoughts on how much the AI and the GenAI space for the telecom vendors has changed, not only since the last time we spoke, which was a few months ago, but then also from December when TBR put together a big, broad report on generative AI and artificial intelligence. And we were trying to look at the market as a whole. Telecoms at the time was still very much in flux. Where do we stand now?
So this market is moving very quickly. It's developing very quickly. And what we've seen different since the last time we spoke, one thing I've noticed is there's more fleshing out of use cases, and there's some POCs and trials going on in various domains, one of which would be like the customer care side of the house, back office functions, using AI for different types of tasks and things of that nature. So it's very preliminary still, but we're starting to see vendors formulate and start to shape what their strategy is and start to put some structure around it. And we're starting to hear more of the value prop that they bring into the AI market and the opportunities that they can bring to the telcos.
And so for use cases, how much of that, so early on, that's all we got questions about, were what are the use cases? What are the use cases? Has it reached a point now where the use cases are pretty well understood? It's more, how do you get to scale, or how do you go beyond just a pilot, or how do you make a significant change to your business using AI or generative AI?
That's certainly an aspect. I think so when I went to Mobile World Congress, one thing that struck me was there are literally hundreds of use cases for traditional AI and for generative AI just for the telecom industry, hundreds. So if you're a vendor and it's just, there's so many areas that you could potentially incorporate AI. I think what I'm seeing right now is vendors trying to find the lowest hanging fruit and where they can make the biggest impact and start with that. So we're seeing them kind of narrowing down where they want to focus on first. Mm-hmm. And I think over time, you're going to see that broaden out and get fleshed out.
So one thing we see in the consulting and the services space is the long tail. We anticipate a long tail of revenue around governance, risk, and compliance. Because as all these models get adopted, as all this generative AI and AI gets folded into enterprises, they're going to have to do the governance, risk, and compliance that comes with it. That's one of those use cases that is small and not a huge revenue driver now, but we see as a long-term revenue driver. Are there similar kinds of things in the telecom space where, of those hundreds of use cases, there are some that you look at and think, yeah, this is going to be a long-term revenue stream for the telecom vendors?
So the biggest impact areas for Gen AI in telco is going to be in the care domain. So call center, customer journey, customer operations, those types of areas. That's the biggest impact. Yeah. I would argue that most of the low hanging fruit is actually in that domain. Also, I'd add to that administrative functions, finance, accounting, legal, marketing, sales. Where can you find pockets of optimization there? And I think it can be pretty significant. And I think also initially coding is going to be an area where humans are going to be augmented with AI, where you can use generative AI to develop code, lower level and even mid-level complexity code. I've heard situations where it can be used for that as well.
And how much are you seeing a change in the ecosystem? And I'm asking that because across TBR, that's one of the things that we've increasingly been asked about, are how are the different players within the technology space that have some AI or generative AI capability, how are they bringing something different or new or unique or whatever to the ecosystem so that they can stand out? How do you see that change, those alliances and partnerships changing?
So some of them will change, but some of them will get probably stronger. So what I mean by that is there's certain types of vendors that are already embedded in the telco business structure, and AI enhances the value that that vendor brings into the telco environments, and it will bring it's going to bring more value and better business outcomes to the operators through the vendors.
Right.
So that's a key thing. I think we'll also see other vendors rise up and start to disrupt some of those status quo alliances and vendor relationships, traditional vendor relationships. And I don't see too much of that yet, but that's definitely going to be a fixture of the market.
That's sort of the storm clouds on the horizon for telecom right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's some incumbent vendors that are really taking this AI opportunity and they're running with it. And those are the ones that I think are going to have the staying power, and they're going to be the ones that capitalize on the opportunities the best.
Right.
The ones that are not, the ones that are like waiting, or they don't have the wherewithal to really invest big in AI, those are the ones that are more at risk of losing out and getting left behind.
Let's talk about the ones that might be leading. Are there certain vendors that stand out for you?
So we talked about customer care, customer journey, those types of things. So that's really, it talks about OSS, BSS. So companies like Amdocs, for example, really have taken this AI opportunity and they're running with it. And they're looking to enhance their own products and also bring new value into the market,
right.
Tangential to what they already traditionally offer the telcos. So, for them, I would expect them to come out the other side of this much stronger and bring more value to their customers and having a stronger bond with their customers. For example, AT&T is their biggest customer. So there's a very tight relationship between those two. And I only see that getting much deeper and more integrated between them.
Are there others where you would see that kind of deeper and more integrated relationship developing other than Amdocs, AT&T? Are there other examples you can think of?
So I'd be looking at the hyperscalers and looking at the scope of the alliances that they have with telcos. And that's where a lot of the AI is going to get funneled into the telcos. And then there'll be other partners of the hyperscalers and the telcos that are institutionalizing these things into the telcos.
Okay. And so when you think about sort of your research as a whole, so this is a market landscape that's coming out focusing on AI and generative AI in the telco space. What are the other market landscapes or the other benchmarks or whatever that sort of either feed into this or build on this? I mean, I guess I'm asking, how does this particular piece of research fit within your broader scope of coverage?
So AI transcends, it will transcend everything. But as of right now, it's a standalone report, and we're incorporating AI content across our other reports. But this report is intended to be a destination report for a deep dive into telco AI and what that landscape looks like, and also giving some history of where the telecom industry's been with traditional AI,
right,
and kind of the evolution of that over time. And yeah, in our 5G, 6G report, there'll be talk about AI, edge computing. AI is a use case for low latency. It's in there.
Right.
So it will ultimately be across everything, but as of right now, it's more of a central report that has like our full view of AI at a high level.
Yeah.
For the telco industry.
It's fascinating how a couple of years ago we were talking about all these different kinds of emerging technologies. So you mentioned 5G, edge, blockchain, cyber, a certain degree, IoT, IoT, all of that, and AI and analytics was all in the mix, but we didn't think of it as being sort of the one technology to unite them all. And that's kind of where we are right now. We're kind of looking at AI as that thing that pulls it all together. Is that going to happen clearly in the telecom space, or is that much more of a long evolution that's going to happen?
I think it'll happen on a domain side relatively soon, like this decade. Like customer care is going to be dramatically transformed by AI, because you have an artificial brain that arguably would be superior to human thought in certain tasks. And you think about a call center and customers contacting a call center and how that interaction might change and evolve with AI in the not too distant future. It's going to be profound changes.
Yeah. And then, so that's a profound business model change too for the telcos as well, right?
I mean, that's a cost center for them. I mean, for the telcos, and this is one of the themes of our report, where's the business outcomes for telcos? The vast majority of the impact for telcos is going to be on the cost optimization side.
Yeah.
The new revenue for telco is going to be very limited. That's what our current thinking is.
So the report's going to come out shortly, and then it's semi-annual or annual?
Semi-annual.
Semi-annual. So what we'll do is in 6 months from now or so, we'll sit down and have another chat about this report and about what else you're seeing in the Gen AI space.
Great.
Excellent. Next week, I'll be speaking with Boz Christoph and Alan Kranz about TBR's upcoming ecosystem research. Don't forget to send us your key intelligence questions on business strategy, ecosystems, and management through the form in the show notes below. Visit TBRI to learn how we help guide tech companies large and small in answering these questions with the research, data, and analysis my guests bring to this conversation every week. Once again, I'm your host, Patrick Heffernan, Principal Analyst at TBR. Thanks for joining us, and see you next week.